Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey back in time. Forget everything you know about the modern world, because we're traveling 4.2 million years into the past to the Pliocene epoch in Africa. This isn't just any trip. We're going to witness the dawn of our own lineage. A time when our distant ancestors, the Australopithecines, were just beginning their epic story. Imagine a landscape vastly different from today's. The African savanna is a mosaic of sprawling grasslands, dotted with dense woodlands and gallery forests lining the rivers. The air is thick with the sounds of a world teeming with life and danger. This is the world our ancestors called home, a world they had to survive. They weren't the kings of the savanna. Not by a long shot. They were small, walking upright, but still very much a part of the food chain. So, who were these early humans? Picture a creature about 3 to 4 feet tall, a blend of ape-like and human-like features. They had long arms and curved fingers, perfect for climbing trees to escape danger or find food. But crucially, their hips, legs, and feet were adapted for bipedalism, walking on 2 legs. This was their revolutionary adaptation, the trait that set them on a different evolutionary path. Walking upright freed their hands, allowing them to carry food, tools, and even their young, a game-changer for survival. But this new life on the ground came with immense risks. The Pliocene savanna was the domain of some of the most formidable predators the world has ever known. This was a land of giants. Forget the lions and leopards of today. Our ancestors faced creatures that would make them look like kittens. Let's meet some of these terrifying neighbors. First, the cats. Imagine a leopard, but bigger, more powerful. That was Dunopholis *, the terrible cat. This saber-toothed beast was a master of ambush. It wasn't a speed demon like a cheetah. Instead, it relied on stealth and immense strength, lurking in the woodlands and along riverbanks, exactly the places our ancestors needed to be for water and shelter. An Australopithecine caught unawares would have stood little chance against its powerful bite. Fossil evidence, like skulls with telltale puncture marks, suggests that hominins were definitely on their menu. But Dunopholis * wasn't the only saber-toothed threat. There was also Meganterian *, another stocky, powerful predator. Think of it as a prehistoric jaguar, built for wrestling large prey to the ground. Its elongated canines weren't for slashing, but for delivering a precise, deep bite to the throat of its victim. For a small hominin, an encounter with Meganterian * would have been a terrifying, and likely final, experience. These cats were the apex predators of the woodlands, a constant, lurking danger. Now, let's move out of the woods and into the open plains, where a different kind of terror roamed. Here, our ancestors would have encountered the giant hyena *. This was no scavenger skulking in the shadows. *Pashekrakute * was a bone-crushing hunter, larger than a modern lion, with a bite force capable of pulverizing the thickest bones to get at the marrow. They were social hunters, moving in formidable packs. An Australopithecus family group, caught in the open, would have been completely outmatched by a clan of these giant hyenas. Their sheer numbers and power would have been overwhelming. And we can't talk about Pliocene Africa without mentioning the crocodiles. The rivers and lakes, essential sources of water, were patrolled by enormous crocodiles, far larger than their modern relatives. Any hominin who ventured to the water's edge for a drink was dicing with death. A moment of inattention, a step too close, and a lightning-fast strike from below the surface would be the end. The water was as dangerous as the land. So, faced with this nightmare lineup of super-predators, how on earth did our small, defenseless ancestors survive? They didn't have sharp claws, great speed, or formidable fangs. Their survival depended on something else, something that would define the human story: intelligence, cooperation, and adaptability. Their first and most important strategy was awareness. Australopithecines likely lived in social groups, similar to modern primates. More eyes and ears meant a better chance of spotting a predator before it could strike. They would have been masters of reading the landscape. listening for alarm calls from birds and other monkeys, and knowing which areas to avoid at certain times of day. This constant state of vigilance was their primary defense. Their ability to climb trees was another crucial lifeline. While they were adapted for walking, those long arms and ape-like shoulders weren't just evolutionary baggage. At the first sign of danger, the nearest tree was their sanctuary, a vertical escape route from the powerful hunters of the plains. They likely lived a life split between the ground and the trees, foraging on the savanna floor but retreating to the safety of the branches to rest and sleep. And then there's the power of the group. A lone Australopithecine was incredibly vulnerable, but a group was a different story. They could work together to intimidate a predator. Imagine a group of hominins yelling, waving branches, and throwing rocks. It might not be enough to fend off a determined attack from a giant hyena pack, but it could be enough to make a lone Dunophilus think twice. This cooperation was the foundation of human society. It was in these moments of shared threat that the bonds of community were forged. Finally, they used their environment. They didn't just live in the landscape. They used Italiano. They understood the terrain, knowing the locations of safe havens, escape routes, and vantage points. They may have used simple tools, like rocks to throw or sturdy branches as clubs. While we often associate tool use with later hominins, the seeds of this ingenuity were planted right here, born from the necessity of outsmarting predators that could easily outmuscle them. This life, lived on a knife's edge, was the crucible that forged humanity. The constant pressure from predators selected for key traits: greater intelligence, better communication, and stronger social bonds. Every hominin that survived an encounter, every group that successfully defended its young, was passing on the genes for cunning and cooperation. The fear of being eaten was a powerful evolutionary driver, pushing our ancestors to become smarter, more social, and ultimately, more human. So, as we leave the Pliocene and return to our time, let's remember this incredible chapter of our story. The next time you see a depiction of our early ancestors, don't just see a primitive ape man. See a survivor, a creature of immense courage and ingenuity, who navigated a world of monsters and, against all odds, managed to hold on, paving the way for the 4.2 million years of evolution that led directly to us. Their struggle is our legacy. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into our amazing past. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We'll see you in the next video.